This room is smaller than a parking space, and it costs half the rent of a standard apartment. A standard apartment in Tokyo's central wards rents for around 110,000 yen a month. For that price, a tenant gets about 25 square meters of private space, enough for a bed, a small table, and maybe a sofa. But a 4 to 6 square meter micro room, bundled with utilities and cleaning, averages just 70,000 yen. That difference, 40,000 yen every month, adds up quickly, especially for students or workers on tight budgets. For many, it is not just about saving money. It is about what that money buys: proximity to a major train station, a shorter commute, and a foothold in the heart of the city. Measured another way, the rent per square meter in a micro room reaches 14,000 yen, a steep premium compared to the city's average of about 5,500 yen for regular apartments. Yet the higher rate reflects something more than just size. It is a price for flexibility, bundled services, and most of all, location. Micro room operators typically include water, electricity, internet, and cleaning in the rent, offering a single, predictable outlay. Contracts are short-term, often month-to-month, and require no large deposits. That lowers the barrier for people moving to Tokyo for the first time, or those whose jobs are temporary or unpredictable. The trade-off is clear: less private space, but more cash in hand and more time saved each day. Residents make a conscious calculation. In a city where land is scarce and demand for central access is relentless, space becomes a financial equation rather than a marker of comfort. For many, living without a living room is not a lifestyle trend. It is a way to buy back opportunity, 1 square meter at a time. Legal definitions, not just market forces, shaped the possibility of 4 to 6 square meter rooms in Tokyo. For decades, Japan's Building Standards Act enforced a strict minimum. Any apartment labeled as a private dwelling had to offer at least 7.4 square meters of habitable floor space. This standard, rooted in post-war housing reforms, effectively blocked the micro-room model from formal development. But a critical revision arrived in 1998 when the enforcement ordinance introduced an exemption for dormitory-type facilities. Under this rule, private sleeping spaces in collective housing, classified as dormitory rooms, could fall below the apartment minimum, provided residents shared kitchens, bathrooms, and met fire safety and ventilation requirements. The exemption changed who and what could count as a dwelling. This legal adjustment opened the door for operators to design buildings with dozens of compact, private rooms clustered around shared amenities. The law did not specify a lower floor area limit for these dormitory units, so long as the balance of private and communal space met overall standards. By the early 2000s, developers in Tokyo began to seize the opportunity, converting existing buildings and constructing new ones with rooms as small as 4 square meters. The shift was subtle but transformative. What had been impossible under apartment rules now became a viable, scalable option under dormitory regulations. Municipal governments in central wards clarified their own guidelines in the following years, affirming that micro-rooms were permissible if shared facilities met hygiene and safety codes. This regulatory pathway made it possible for the micro-room economy to flourish. The legal loophole was not an accident, but a deliberate recalibration, one that recognized changing urban needs and redefined what counted as a legitimate home in Tokyo's dense core. Inside a 4 square meter room, every decision is an act of engineering. The bed folds up against the wall, revealing a slim desk built into the same frame. Modular storage cubes stack beneath a window or double as a seat. Sliding wardrobes glide along floor tracks, freeing up precious centimeters that would otherwise be lost to swinging doors. In these rooms, nothing is fixed unless it must be. Furniture is chosen not for style, but for its ability to transform, disappear, or serve more than one purpose. ventilation is constant. By law, a mechanical exhaust fan runs around the clock, exchanging the air at least once every 2 hours, even in the smallest units. This is not just a comfort feature, it is a legal requirement designed to keep humidity and carbon dioxide below safe thresholds. The system is compact, tucked into the ceiling or a high corner, and runs so quietly that its presence is often only noticed when it stops. Fire safety is non-negotiable. Since the mid-2010s, all buildings with these micro rooms must install sprinklers in corridors and stairwells. Each private room is separated from its neighbors by a fire-rated partition, built to withstand flames for at least 30 minutes. Operators run quarterly drills and post-evacuation maps on every floor. Portable heaters and in-room cooking are banned, a rule enforced as strictly as any lease condition. Acoustic insulation is another hidden layer. High-density gypsum board and rubber gaskets line the partitions, reducing sound transmission by about 7 decibels. This does not make the room silent, but it brings typical noise levels within the city's residential standard. Quiet hours are maintained more by construction than by trust. In these engineered spaces, every centimeter and every decibel is measured, regulated, and optimized to make high-density living not just possible, but viable. Shared kitchens, bathrooms, and laundry rooms are the backbone of Tokyo's micro-room buildings. These spaces are not afterthoughts. They are engineered systems, designed to replace the private living room and all it once contained. In the kitchen, induction cooktops line the counters, each with a timer and a posted sign listing the building's rules. No cooking after midnight, no open flames, and always wipe down the surfaces. Every refrigerator shelf is divided, with names written in marker or printed on color-coded labels. Some buildings use rotation apps that assign fridge space and cooking slots, preventing disputes before they start. The result is a choreography of meals, where residents move in and out on predictable cycles, their routines shaped by the invisible logic of shared infrastructure. Showers and bathrooms follow a similar pattern. Schedules are posted on doors or managed through smartphone apps, with peak hours mapped out to avoid bottlenecks. Early risers claim the first showers, while night workers drift in after midnight. Each resident keeps their toiletries in a basket, labeled and stored on racks outside the door. Operators install high-efficiency water heaters and set timers to limit hot water use during the busiest periods, balancing comfort with the realities of communal life. Laundry rooms are booked in half-hour slots, tracked by sign-up sheets or digital panels mounted by the door. Machines are compact and energy efficient, with reminders posted in multiple languages. Remove your clothes promptly, clean the lint filter, and leave the door open after use. The rhythm of washing and drying becomes part of the building's pulse, another layer of routine that ties strangers together through shared responsibility. These systems don't just save space, they create a framework for coexistence, where individual privacy is balanced by the need for order in close quarters. A weekday starts before dawn with the shuffle of slippers and a quiet line outside the shared shower. By 7 in the morning, the kitchen becomes a careful choreography. As induction cooktops flicker, breakfasts are made, counters are wiped, and food is labeled. The micro room is for sleep, not lingering. Most residents work in cafes or libraries, returning as evening routines fill the halls with laundry baskets and low conversation. Hosting friends is rare. Overnight guests are limited, and gatherings stay small. The city stands in for a living room, parks, izakayas, late trains. Survey data shows 55% of residents feel a strong sense of belonging after 3 months, while 30% mention bouts of isolation, especially during long stretches of work. Occupancy remains high, between 85 and 92%, as many find the trade-offs worthwhile. Tokyo's micro-room model is not an outlier. In New York City, micro-apartments range from 8 to 12 square meters, often marketed toward young professionals and students priced out of larger units. London's microflats, typically 7 to 10 square meters, fill a similar niche, offering central access at a fraction of the cost of traditional rentals. While Tokyo's private spaces are the most compact, sometimes half the size of their Western counterparts, all three cities rely on shared kitchens, bathrooms, and corridors to stretch livability. During the early pandemic, occupancy in micro-units fell sharply worldwide. Yet by 2022, Tokyo, New York, and London all saw demand rebound as remote workers and students returned, drawn by short-term contracts and bundled services. In this global context, Tokyo's approach stands as one response among many to the pressures of urban density, cost, and the need for flexibility. In Tokyo, space is not measured in comfort, it's measured in access. As urban rents climb worldwide, the city's micro-housing model quietly reframes what we trade for opportunity. For millions, living without a living room isn't about less, it's about adapting to more. What would you trade for proximity?